Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into something really fascinating. We're looking at a centuries-old allegory that, believe it or not, perfectly maps onto our modern-day struggle with information overload. You know that feeling when you're just completely overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff coming at you every single day? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, you're absolutely going to love the framework we're unpacking in this explainer. We're breaking down a profound text known as the eighth word, and we'll see exactly how choosing the path of faith versus the path of rebellion literally changes how you experience the entire world. Let's get right into it.
So before we jump into the core text, I want you to just think about this for a second. How should we walk through life? Like, how do you personally manage to navigate a world where incredible beauty, genuine friendship, and inspiring art exist literally right alongside overwhelming toxicity, jealousy, and profound injustice? It's a lot to process, isn't it? We're constantly bombarded by both extremes, sometimes in the exact same hour. But the source material we're looking at today, it doesn't shy away from this crazy reality. Instead, it gives us this brilliant, practical framework for how to walk through it all without, completely losing our minds.
Okay, let's dive into this. The eighth word frames our reality as a complex, mixed garden. It doesn't paint this picture of a perfect, flawless utopia, but it also doesn't describe a completely barren wasteland. It's a garden, but it is deeply, deeply mixed. And honestly, this concept is absolutely foundational because it sets the stage for everything else we're going to discuss today. Life is packed full of incredibly good things, but yeah, it's also packed with bad things. Just acknowledging this mixed nature, that's step one in learning how to actually navigate it. To build on that idea, just think about the stark contrast here. In this exact same garden, really beautiful things like knowledge, help, art, and profound mercy, they are blooming right next to lies, unfairness, jealousy, and outright evil. I mean, they share the exact same soil. They breathe the same air. You can't just stroll into this garden and blindly grab whatever happens to be right in front of you. Because if you do, you might reach for what looks like a gorgeous flower and end up with a fistful of thorns. The environment itself is neutral, sure, but the contents inside it are highly polarized. Now, to explain exactly how we should handle this mix-up garden, the eighth word uses this really brilliant teaching tool. It tells the story of two brothers. These two brothers walk through this exact same garden. They are surrounded by the exact same flowers, the exact same thorns, the exact same environment. And yet, because of the distinct paths they actually choose to walk, they end up experiencing completely, radically different realities. So the really crucial thing here is understanding these two distinct paths. On one side, we have the unfortunate brother, and he's walking the left path. His heart is darkened. And because of this internal darkness, he looks around the garden and literally reads everything as a threat, as fear, as absence. But on the flip side, we have the fortunate brother walking the right path. He is looking at the exact same world, experiencing the exact same passing of time and societal complexities, but he interprets it all through the lens of faith. He doesn't see things as just random or meaningless. It's all about the lens, right? The lens through which they view the exact same reality changes everything. Now, what's really fascinating is when we break down the specific things each brother encounters. In the allegory, they come across a lion. The brother on the left path, he sees this as a terrifying end, like death itself. But the brother on the right path sees it as a completely natural transition. Then they see a dragon. The left path sees a dark, consuming grave, while the right path actually sees it as a door opening up to another beautiful garden. Or consider something as simple as the passing of day and night. The left path views time as an enemy, just gnawing away at his life, constantly making him tremble. The right path, he simply sees time passing. Finally, when facing disasters, the left path feels threatened, but the right path sees divine warnings meant to gently wake us up. It is literally the exact same data, just processed through two completely different operating systems. Okay, so let's shift gears here for a second. The story of the two brothers, the lions, the dragons, it's a fascinating, mysterious allegory. But it's time to drop the metaphors and look at our modern day-to-day reality. How does this actually apply to us, right here, right now? Well, the real genius of the eighth word is that it isn't just some fantasy story. It's a highly practical diagnostic tool for the modern human condition. Let's explicitly define what we're talking about here. This metaphorical garden, it represents human society. It's our temporary social lives within modern civilization. Just like the garden in the story, our civilization contains the good and the bad, the clean and the dirty, constantly all mixed together. A smart, rational person looks around, realizes they are in this highly mixed environment, and decides, hey, I can't just randomly absorb everything around me. And this brings us directly to today's digital age. This exact dynamic of the mixed garden, it is playing out right now on our smartphones, in our schools, within our friend groups. Every single time you open social media, you are stepping right into that garden. You're going to see incredible acts of charity and learning right next to the most toxic, harmful content imaginable. So the real question is, which brother's path are you taking when you scroll? Now, I want to make something absolutely clear. Taking the right path does not mean hiding from the modern world. It doesn't mean throwing your phone in a river and living in a cave somewhere. That is a huge misconception. The right path is actually about being selective. It's about navigating the internet and society consciously. It's about walking with intentionality and faith. You're still in the garden, right? You are just choosing to pick the fruit and deliberately leaving the thorns along.
So how do we actually put this into practice? Well, the source text suggests a super practical personal audit. And honestly, I want you to try this today. Take a look at your social media feed or your immediate circle of friends and just categorize what you consume into these 3 simple buckets. First, what nourishes me? Like, what is actually feeding my mind and my soul? Second, what pollutes me? What's the toxic stuff that leaves me feeling anxious or cynical or dark? And third, what distracts me? What is just pure heedlessness eating away at my precious time?
Once you've done that quick audit, the next step is incredibly empowering. It's simple. Make a choice that will protect your heart. Actively embrace the clean things, take what nourishes you, and deliberately, consciously leave the sorrowful, dirty, and polluting things behind. If you do this, you can continue your path through this crazy mixed-up civilization with a safe, protected heart. You essentially become the fortunate brother, finding meaning and security in the exact same world where others are finding only anxiety. I want to highlight this really powerful, memorable quote from our source material. It says, "Goodness attracts goodness, evil magnifies evil." I mean, wow, that beautifully captures the compounding nature of the choices we make every single day. The things you choose to pick up in the garden, they don't just affect you in that one isolated moment, they attract more of the exact same thing. Every conscious, selective choice you make to protect your heart builds this incredible momentum of goodness. Which brings us to our final defining question for today. We are all walking through this incredibly complex, mixed garden of modern civilization. There is profound beauty and there is deep darkness, and it is all right there at your fingertips. So my question to you is this: what will you take and what will you deliberately leave behind? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this framework helps you navigate your day with a bit more clarity and a whole lot more peace. I'll see you in the next one.